Hi, I'm Gail Sokol. I want to begin my Oven-Side Chats today.
Welcome to Baking Radio. Learn the art and science of baking with author, educator, and award-winning chef, Gail Sokol. Whether you've been baking your whole life or you're brand new to the world of baking and you're looking to build your confidence and learn new skills in the kitchen, you're in the right place. This is Baking Radio.
So today I'm so excited to welcome Holly Harz as my guest on Baking Radio. Holly, hi, welcome to Baking Radio. I'm so glad you could be here.
Hi, Gail. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it's so exciting to talk to a baker, and you are one busy baker. Let me tell you, it's hard to get a hold of you because you're like a one-woman show. But before we get started about your bake shop and your bakery and all your interests, tell us, how did you first get interested in baking? I always find that so fascinating. Did you always love it? Did you grow into it? Was it out of necessity? Give us a little background.
I have always loved to bake. My mom is not a cook or a baker. She doesn't like it at all, but she always did Christmas cookies, lots of them. And I used to love to help her with them. And then I just started doing little things when I went to college. We had a kitchen in my dorm, and I went to college for forestry, and we had to give interpretive talks. And I did mine on blueberry bushes, and I went out and picked a bunch of blueberries and made blueberry muffins to take in for everybody. And
I love it. I love that.
And they still talk about it. I still see that professor, and he still talks about those blueberry muffins on the side of the trail.
Oh,
yeah. So
Oh.
And then it just got more and more and more. And then people started asking me, could you do a wedding cake? Could you do this? I did, after I graduated from college and I was working for the Environmental Conservation Department, I did birthday cakes for students at the college. We would send out notices to the parents long before they did it as a business at the schools like they do now. And
very cool.
I would send them out to all the parents, and then I would just do it and deliver the cake to their dorm.
That is amazing. That is amazing. What a wonderful thing to do, and a really sort of a natural way to get started. Tell me the name of your bakery.
It's called Adirondack Delectables.
And you are up in the Adirondacks, right?
I am in Malone, New York, actually Bangor, but Malone is my mailing address.
Okay.
And yes, I have a wonderful view out at my bakery window.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet it's gorgeous.
Yep.
Do you bake in a separate location from your home?
Yes, that's required by state law to bake in a separate location if you're going to sell.
Okay, excellent. Is your hopefully your bake shop is close to your home?
Right across the street. It's a little log cabin that we had. There's a man in Saranac Lake that builds these, and this was his first model, the little cabin that I have, and he modified it to meet the health department requirements. You have to have 3 sinks. You have to have, there's certain things that you have to have in order for it to be passed from the health department.
How long did it take you to set all this up? Do you rent, or did you buy a little building?
No, it's a building right on my property. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So so that's excellent.
Actually my mom's property, but right across the street from my house, there's 10 acres, and this sits right on it. So
oh, that's perfect. So you don't have to go too far. Yeah.
And it's so pleasant, the little log cabin. It's really sweet, and it's just a pleasant, happy place to work. So
it sounds wonderful. Are you the only person in your bake shop, or do you have employees? You are it.
I'm it.
How do you do it all?
It's very difficult on the weeks I have 8 weddings.
Oh my goodness. Well,
you don't sleep, and you just keep working until it's done.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to think about what I would be doing. I'd be like up all night, and I'm sure you are, but I know one of your specialties is wedding cakes, and they are amazing. I've seen pictures of them. What do you enjoy about making wedding cakes? What specifically do you love doing?
I like when somebody sends me a picture of what they want, and then tells me I can put a little spin on it. I do not like when they say, we trust you, do what you want
Oh,
altogether, because my tastes aren't the same. I like simple and elegant. Some people like really over the top. And it's very hard when somebody just tells me, we know we'll like whatever you do. I need some more guidance than that.
smart
But
woman. Yeah.
yeah, I do like it when they say, this is like, I want a birch cake, but do some extra stuff. So I'll make pine cones for it, and stuff like that. I do a lot of birch cakes for the Adirondacks.
You know what? I was going to bring it up because I always see birch cakes when I look up on your website, and that's such a specialty of yours because you're in the Adirondacks. You don't see that too often.
Right, and it kind of brings in my forestry background also. So,
Yeah, I love it. Now, how do you make your pine cones? Do you make them out of buttercream? Do you make them out of fondant? How do you do that?
I do both. I have some molds that I can make them out of fondant, but I personally don't like fondant. And a lot of people don't like it, so I do buttercream ones also.
You're right. And I always pronounce it fondant, and then there are some people that go fondant, like you said it. And I think both ways are correct, I believe, but fondant can be very heavy, like the sugar paste, right? Do you ever make your own fondant?
I have not. I've had people tell me that it's better. Like, I buy a high-end buttercream flavored fondant, but it's still it's the texture that I object to. It's like bubble gum.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I agree. Now,
I like buttercream. So
buttercream is yummy because of the butter. One quick question about your birch cakes. Now, I know you said you do something special with your birch cakes. Like, I don't want you to tell any like special secrets that will, that you'll get upset with me. But what do you do different about your birch cakes? Like, what makes them unique?
Well, I paint them, and I take a lot of time with it. You'll see a lot of them that they just literally put some lines in frosting on, and they do look like birch cakes, but like birch bark. But I literally have people, when I'm carrying them in, ask me why I'm taking a log into the venue.
Okay.
They seriously think they're real.
Oh, that's so cool.
And yeah, it is. It's kind of fun. And I use, again, I make my own buttercream and all, and my motto, I even have a sign in the bakery, cake is just a vessel for buttercream.
I love it. I love that. Oh my goodness. I know a lot of people that would get along with that motto. That's their life mantra.
Right.
Yes. So I have a question. I know you make wedding cakes, but what else do you love to make? What else do people around? I mean, they must love you up there. And what are some of your other specialties that you make?
I do a lot of cream puffs.
Ooh.
I do a lot of cookies. Actually, I did 4 different kinds of cookies today that are just actually for Christmas. What'd
you make?
I made M&M cookies, party cookies.
Okay.
I did the press. I call them press cookies, but I guess they call them spritz.
Yep.
I did Christmas trees, and I did poinsettias with the spritz.
Oh, very nice.
I did gingerbread men. A lot of gingerbread men. They aren't decorated yet. They're just made.
Okay.
What was the other one? I'm trying to think. Oh, candy canes.
Oh, yum.
Candy canes.
Very
and they
nice.
take forever. So I'm always glad when I get them done, because they take forever.
And what do you do with them now? So do you make like dozens and dozens and dozens, or do you? Yeah.
Yes, and they will. It's so cold now that I can put them on the porch and they freeze.
Yes, at room temperature.
They aren't deep froze.
Right.
So they are. Nobody has ever complained about them not tasting very fresh, because I'm making them now for cookie trays for parties.
That's
people have ordered that will be picking them up within a week or 2.
Okay, so that's actually perfect. Yeah, and you don't have to, stuff them in your freezer and take up freezer space.
Oh yeah, no, I don't freeze anything generally. I know a lot of people that'll make dough ahead and freeze it, and it's not that hard. It
Yeah.
doesn't take that
Yeah,
long
and it's
to
not
make.
the same, right? It's
Right.
just not the same. So
Right,
you were telling
exactly.
me about these incredible cinnamon roll kits that you make for people for the
Oh, for
holidays.
Christmas. Yes,
Yes.
I do, and that's actually one of my fun things. I love to make bread is probably my favorite thing to make, but I don't get a lot of orders for it because let's face it, you can go into Price Chopper or Walmart and buy rolls for next to nothing. I can't even buy the ingredients for what they sell them for.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So I don't.
they don't taste the same. So
No, they
let's be
absolutely
clear.
do not. They
Right.
absolutely do not. They're
Right.
much better homemade. And I love to make bread. So I came up with an idea. There are all these people that asked me if I would do cinnamon rolls for Christmas. And I said, absolutely. And I have an overnight roll recipe that I make them up. I cut them, I put them in the pans.
So it's a yeast bread, right?
It's a yeast spread.
Okay.
Yep. You have to let it rise once, and then you roll it out and put the cinnamon and the butter and the sugar on them, and then you roll them up and you cut the rolls. And I put them in the pan, and at that point they go in the fridge for however long. You could do it for 4 or 5 days without a problem. And when you are ready to bake them, you take them out and put them on the counter for half of an hour before you bake them. And that's enough time to rise, and the rest of the rising we'll do when the heat hits them in the oven.
That's cool.
And I give them a packet. I usually put it into a decorating bag and tell them
Yep.
just cut the end off, and that's their frosting, and put the frosting on. And I say, you are perfectly welcome to tell them that you made them because you didn't bake them.
Yeah,
So-
everyone loves a good cheat, right? And
Right.
and
It doesn't bother me one bit that they do that.
and you get
So-
the credit. Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, but I have never heard of a bakery doing that, and I think that's amazing. Your customers must love you.
They do. They love it.
Yeah.
I have regulars every year that call me. I'm waiting now on the last one that always calls every year, and she gets like 6 pans of them, and she gives them to all of her kids.
Oh wow.
So
You must be like awake all night long for like 2 weeks before
Oh
the
yeah,
holidays.
before Christmas,
Yeah.
absolutely, because I have a lot of decorated, and I do a lot of Yule logs. Also, that's another thing that a lot of people order. You know what a Yule log is?
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Yeah.
And do you decorate them with meringue mushrooms?
Most people just want the holly sprigs on them.
Okay.
I've done the mushrooms before, and people they just aren't that thrilled with them. They want the holly sprigs, so I do buttercream holly sprigs on top.
Well, give them
And-
what they want.
Exactly, and the
Right.
mushrooms are there if they want them. I do them with the meringue, and then I use a chocolate inside the cap.
Yum.
mushroom cap.
I love making meringue mushrooms and sort of fooling people. I was
Yep.
asked to
Because
bring
they look real.
They look so real, and I got this mushroom basket from this place that was like a vegetable place, and
nice.
I put them in there, and somebody said, "We asked her to bring a dessert. Why is she bringing vegetables?" And they thought I was nuts. And I said, these are special mushrooms. And they love them. They love them. So I bet you make awesome mushrooms.
Oh yeah, and I do a lot of different meringue things too. Well, with the cream puffs, I make swans sometimes.
Yes.
Have you done those?
Yeah.
I do the cream puff swans.
What do you
I
fill
like
them
that
with?
kind of
You fill them
little-
with whipped cream or butter?
Oh no! I make the creme diplomat. And,
Okay. Fancy.
which is a pastry cream that is lightened with whipped cream.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
'cause a lot of people don't know what that is, but so it's a creme pâtissière,
Mm-hmm.
which is, butter, sugar, cream, all that. And you cook it till it gets thick, and then you put it away till it chills, and then you whip cream and fold it in so it lightens it.
Oh boy.
And it's
Oh,
really
wow.
good. People say, "Oh, we put pudding in, and pudding's okay, but this is out of this world."
Yeah,
So-
I'm sure it's sort of like way over the top.
Oh, it's way over the
Amazing.
top. I love
Yeah.
doing the over the top. That's my, I did fruitcakes this past weekend. I sell a lot of fruitcakes at Christmas.
Yeah, fruitcakes. You know what? Are they really popular, or I'm thinking they are. They are. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and people will say I don't like fruitcake, and I'll say, here you go.
Try
it."
yours
Try
because
it,
I
and
bet
then
they're.
you
It's
don't like
amazing.
it.
Yeah.
If they like fruit, they're gonna like this because it's all fruit, and I put just enough batter in to hold the fruit together.
All right. So what type of dried fruit do you put in there? Candied fruit, dried fruit?
Mangoes.
Okay.
I do mangoes, cherries, lemon, and grapefruit peel. What else do I have in there? Mango. I like the mangoes. That's my favorite.
That it would be awesome. Yeah. Now, do
I
you?
do raisins and currants, which are hard to come by. The currants are kind of hard to come by.
Yeah. Yeah. What about dried cherries? Dried cherries.
Cherries, pineapple. I put cranberries in.
What kind of nuts?
Generally walnuts. There were some almonds this year because I had some, so I threw almonds in.
Okay.
But I do mostly walnuts because that's what people seem to like. And
Do you like them in a loaf pan or do you make your fruitcake in a round ring?
I do. They're so expensive.
Yeah, with all the dried fruit and nuts.
And the
Yeah.
nuts
Yeah.
are ridiculously expensive at this
are.
time. And the I have a man in I think he's in Missouri that is a licensed food processor, and he makes the fruit for me. I used to get it from. There was a lovely little co-op store just over the border. I'm only like 10 or 20 minutes from the Canadian border.
Okay.
And I went to Huntington, Quebec, where there was a place called Chez Gail. And she,
Oh, really?
yes, she did all hers. And it was, I think what most people object to in fruitcake is citron. It's very bitter and very
Yes.
hot. And
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
use citron in my fruitcake.
Yeah. Well, you do candied orange peel and because I make my own candied orange peel.
Yes, I make it too.
Yeah, and it's so
I
much
do
better.
Grapefruit and lemon.
Yep.
I do grapefruit and lemon. I'm not personally, orange is not my favorite.
Yeah.
I do lime also. Lime makes a really nice little extra flavor.
They have such a thin peel. It's hard to separate the peel from the fruit
peel.
itself. Yeah,
Yeah,
very difficult.
it is.
So
It is.
tell me, when you get an order for a wedding cake, how many days do you need? How long does it take you to complete it?
Okay. People sometimes order a year and a half in advance.
Okay, especially wedding cake. Yeah, you would think.
Right. I had an order last week for one for Friday. So for this coming Friday.
What's your limit? Like when someone calls
depends.
up and says, "I want one tomorrow," and you say, "No way."
Oh no, I can't do them overnight.
Yeah.
But if somebody, if it's in the summer and I'm doing 5 and 6 a weekend, I have to say no. Right now, I just took a wedding cake just now to Lake Placid, and I have one for Friday. Also, the lady that called for Friday, I didn't have any other wedding cakes, so I said yes. It all depends on how busy I am and what I'm busy with.
Now, I have a question. Do you have a special truck or a van that you have
have a
shelves in?
No, I don't have shelves. My stepdad built me a platform, so it's a Toyota Sienna, and the seats all fold down.
Okay.
But then there's a hole where the seat is. So my stepdad built me a platform that fits right in the back, fits perfectly. He measured it and did it all. So it fits in the back of the van. He put a rug, a very low pile rug on it so the cakes don't slide.
So they're fully assembled, fully frosted, and you just put them, even if they're tiered, you put them on in the trunk on the flattened seats, and they stay okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that they stay okay.
Okay.
You have to build a wedding cake like an architect.
Yes.
You can't just put. I've seen so many people that say, "Oh, Aunt Jane's doing my wedding cake," and then they tell me later, "I'm so sorry I didn't get you because it fell over." Well, you have to put dowels into it.
Yes.
You have to put support system into it, and then you have to put a very large dowel all the way down through all the tiers.
Okay.
To hold it.
That is something that a lot of people complain about, that their wedding cake, they had buttercream, it was warm in the summer,
And
it sort of looked like the Leaning Tower of Pisa until it literally flipped over.
Right. And sometimes, I always tell people it can be built as good as it possibly can be.
Yep.
But if your venue's 100 degrees, buttercream is going to slide.
So what do you do for buttercream in 100-degree weather? Do you use buttercream or do you use shortening instead of the butter?
Oh, no, I use buttercream for everything.
Okay. And you haven't had a problem.
I do use some shortening in my buttercream to stabilize it. Not a lot,
Yep.
but just enough to stabilize it. I think the only one that I ever had that had a problem, and they got their pictures and everything, she wanted a cake that had 2 sets of stairs. So it was a big long cake, and then there were stairs on either side that came up and met in the middle. And it was for 400 people, and I went to deliver to the venue, and they hadn't turned on the fans or anything.
Uh-oh.
And it was awful. And I called her right up and I said, this place is hot. There's
Yeah.
no place for me to put this cake but on the cake table. And she was like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And the stairs did slide.
Okay.
But she got all of her
Oh.
pictures, and then she took the stairs off.
Okay.
So the cake was fine. It
Were
was
the stairs were edible too?
No,
Okay.
they're plastic.
Yeah, I would.
And
I
it
would
had a
assume.
fountain also. It had a fountain too.
Okay. Oh,
That's
fancy,
not something
fancy.
a lot of people like anymore.
No. Yeah.
But fountains used to be very, very popular.
Yeah, I remember I had like a bridge cake
Right.
that my mother really wanted me to get, and I said, "Oh, okay." So we did, and there were stairs and like little people going up the stairs until you saw my husband and I on the top. And my
Right.
husband had red hair at the time, so we even had the baker paint the head of the groom red.
Okay.
Like an orangey red, so it looked like
Yep.
a real ginger.
Right. There you
So-
go. And I have people that order their cake toppers on Etsy
Okay.
and have them made to look like them. And I think that's really cool. I
That
love
is cool. They didn't have that way back when I
No.
was married. Oh,
No.
that's so cool. Well, do you want to tell us, more about how people can reach you, your website, how they can get in touch with you if you're interested?
Well, my website is AdirondackDelectables.com.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook under Adirondack Delectables also.
Okay. Excellent.
So, and I do deliver. I actually have taken cakes to Albany and Lake George and Utica, and I go to Canada. Well, not this year, but
Right.
I was,
Yeah.
I was delivering to Canada. I've gone to Watertown. I try to keep it within an hour or two at the most, but that doesn't always happen.
Right. Well, you're amazing. I want to thank you for joining me. This has been fascinating, and I think I just love to pick your brain and sort of talk to you about all the special things that you make, because they're actually just awesome, and you're awesome. And I want to thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. This is really fun. I enjoy this.
So my guest today has been Holly Harz. She has her wonderful bake shop in the Adirondacks, Adirondack Delectables, AdirondackDelectables.com if you're interested. And on the next episode, we'll have another Ovenside chat. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, my YouTube channel, and my website, chefgailsokol.com.